Motivational Monday. I hope you all had a fantabulous weekend. Today we are in part two of a series where I just want to show you one very simple exercise with a couple of variations, how you can combine tools. Today we're combining the Infinity Box set. We have a very amazing deal with Lifepro right now. If you're looking at strength training equipment, if you are looking for something to mix up your current routine, I'm going to give you a couple of ideas on the lower half of the body. Last week, we talked about upper body, and I showed you a very simple routine where we use the vibration plate to warm up the upper body and technically could be recovery. And we used the Infinity Box set to coach proper technique. If you've ever joined me in any of my vibration plate sessions, I'm always on you about technique and posture. And, if you're going to put time and effort into doing this, it may as well be effective. So what's so cool about combining some of the tools, and today we're going to do basically go over a basic squat and how you can use the Infinity Box set to keep an eye on your technique. Are you shifting your weight on one side or the other? And we're going to use the vibration machine simply for a warm-up and recovery set. So in actuality, it might be 5 minutes total. It really depends on where you're at in your conditioning, what your goals are. But just like last week, if you didn't watch part one, I featured upper body and how to use the Infinity Box to just get into better technique. If you're not using upper body exercises now, maybe you've got wrist issues. There's some pros to using something like that versus the vibration plate directly. Today, like I say, we're going to go over a squat set. So we're going to warm up on the machine. We're going to use the Infinity Box set for technique and a couple of tricks that I like using it for. It's a resistance exercise. I just want to cover, because I always trip on my tongue, the summer special. If you do not have the Infinity Box set and you're just looking for something to mix up your vibration plate, or you're working on routine, or you just want to, like I say, mix things up a little bit, $139. There's two options. So if you're going with the Infinity Box set, there's a vibrating massage roller that comes with it. If you are looking at the Infinity Box Plus set, which has just a few more configurations than the basic set, there's a massage gun included with that one. So either or, $139. As I said, there's two different Infinity Box sets. I'm going to be working with the standard set, the Infinity Box. It's more than I need. If you're a little bit more elaborate in your exercises, you're doing things a little bit more exotic, you're looking to condition a little bit more, you may enjoy the Plus set. It's got a few more hand configurations. So I would like to know, if you are here today joining me on a Monday, we are also giving away an Infinity set at the end of the session. If you're using one now, if you followed me in my session last week, if you have questions, please make a comment. If you'd like to be entered for the draw today at the end of this session, I need to know who you are, where you're from. And if you're following me throughout this session, I'd love to hear if you're learning something, if there's something I can address for you relative to today's exercise. Please feel free to also ask me questions towards the end of this. So I'm going to start with a warm up on the vibration machine. I'm going to show you what this looks like. I'm going to bring my camera feed down just a little bit. And then I'm going to show you a squat set using one of the resistance band accessories on the Infinity Box set. Hello. And yes, thank you. I'm going to have a link here in the comments to where you can look at this further. So if you didn't join me last week, this is what the set looks like. Last week, I had push-up attachment handles that I was using in different configurations on this. Today, we're going to be doing a configuration with the resistance bands on our legs. So we're going to be using this and standing on this today. But to start, I want to show you a very quick 3, maybe 4 position massage warm-up that you can do on the machine. I know many of you just stand on your machine, and there's a world of benefits you can get from that. I don't mean to say just stand. I always say that because there's so much more that you can do. And today I thought we'd do massage as a warm-up. A lot of times, for those of you that are doing massage, you obviously know the benefits of using it for recovery after an exercise session, but have you ever tried using it for massage before you do some exercises? So today we're going to warm up the legs, get them fired up on the vibration machine before we get into a very simple squat set on the Infinity deck here. So how we're going to start for our massage is we're simply going to warm up the calves, and there's kind of a natural progression to how I do this because I don't like to move around a whole lot when I'm on the ground here. Okay, so depending on what type of machine you are working on, today I'm always in my sessions using oscillating mode. Feel free to use whatever program, whatever combination of movements your machine may offer. But for those of you just starting out, I'd like to teach you the basics first. And for massage positions where you're applying body parts directly to the machine, I think you'll find the mid to even high speed or levels on your machine more comfortable. I covered last week, and I covered all my sessions, amplitude. So how far apart or how close your legs are together is going to change the intensity. Just line your calves up about hip width apart. You want the heel of your foot off the machine and just fire it up, as I said, in oscillating mode. And I want you to bring it up. Mine goes, I'm working with the Rumblex Plus today, one of the 4D models. And I like it in the 40 to 50 range on my massage, okay? And I like my legs a little bit wider, okay? You can pull your toes towards you, turn this into a bit of a stretch if you like. If you've got lots of varicose veins or you tend to have tightness in the calves, flexibility is poor, this is just going to warm up those muscle groups. It's going to surge lymph and circulation to these areas, and you're going to feel fired up when we do get to the squat set. I would do this. Everybody always wants to know how long. On a single, I always talk single positions. You know, an entire routine is going to vary for everybody. But just as a standalone, if you wanted for any body part, maybe 1 to 2 minutes, I'm going to do this for about 30 seconds so we can get through this. The next exercise we're going to move and warm up is the hamstrings and the glutes, depending on how long your thighs are. So we're going to move up onto the machine. I want the knees bent and relaxed on the floor. You're resting on your heels, not on your flat foot. You want all that meaty part of the hamstrings on the plate. If you're sensitive to head vibrations, migraines, you're afraid something's going on with your spine, you can sit like I am. Like, you may not be able to see it perfectly, but my tailbone is just off the edge of the machine. My legs are fairly long, so I want to get the whole hamstring and the underside of the glutes. If you move forward a little bit more and get the tailbone on, you'll hear it in my voice as well. You're getting much more movement. You'll feel it more in the hip and the low back, the neck and the shoulders. The primary part of this movement is to massage the hamstrings to help us with the leg work. But this is going to be awesome for skin tone. If range of motion allows you to get down here, again, 1 to 2 minutes. This is great for the hip and the low backs. Gets things a little bit more direct to that area. If you wanted to add a bit of upper body to this at the same time, you know, this is all about combining things to get more effect. You can just palms down. You're sitting on your hands and you'll feel a little bit more movement into the neck and the shoulders. How far back or how far forward you lean, you're going to feel it in different areas of the torso, the shoulders, and the neck. So just experiment with what feels comfortable, just a variation. The very last one we're going to do, I want to warm up the tops of the thighs. So we're going to flip over. We're going to get the kneecaps just off the machine. And we're going to lay the hamstrings on the top. So we're kind of just up to about the hip bone and the meaty part of the quads is what we're trying to hit here. Yes, you can massage your stomach. It really depends on you. You may want a mat for this. I've never used a mat for anything. I've been doing this for so long. But you may find you want a little bit of padding for your hip bones or other things. So those are you do the calves first, the back of the hamstrings and the quads. My legs feel warmer. They feel looser. My hip joints, my low back. It's going to prepare us for what we're doing next here. For those of you that are just joining me, we're moving to the next part of today's demo. I'm using the vibration machine to warm up, and I'm going to show you just a very simple squat set using the resistance bands on the Infinity box set. We are giving one away at the end of the session. There's a summer clearance special right now. If you're considering the Infinity box set, or it's something that you've been looking at, $139 for either model. The Infinity box traditional set will include the large Lifepro vibrating massage roller. The Infinity box plus set includes a handheld massage gun. So either of those deals is $139 for both items. So just something to consider. Last week I was talking about using the Infinity Box as a coaching tool, an instructional tool to get yourself doing your upper body positions correctly, especially with my ladies. Sometimes you've got wrist issues, sometimes you're chattering your teeth on the vibration machine, and technique can take you a long way in making your exercises effective. So last week's session 1, we used the vibration machine to warm up the upper body, and we did some exercises. We just warmed up the lower body, and I want to show you, as I said, there's been a number of videos demonstrating there's a lot of bits and pieces that come with the Infinity Box. Well worth the value just for the accessories that come with it. But what I've done here, I want to show you, because I'm tall, I wanted the most length out of these. So at the end, there's these turny handles, which there's a rubber stopper. You can connect these resistance bands to a number of areas on the underside of the housing here. This is what's called your deck surface, and this is where it shows you different areas. Last week when we did the push-ups, this is for this week gonna be different places where I position my foot while I'm doing some upper body exercises. So all I've done with the larger red bands is I've looped them through. There's these little turny ends on there. We're gonna lay this down on the ground, and I've already pre-attached these. And there's going to be 2 things that I show you with this today. I just want to make sure that you can see me well. Okay, because I'm a little on the tall side. Okay. So on the straps themselves, there's 2 ways that you can utilize these. There's a traditional set of handles that can clip to these that comes with the bag included again. I'm just using there's like a standard little loop on the end that's attached to these, and that's how I've used to affix them to the rollers on the outer edges. What I want you to do, depending on what set you might be working with, I want to line you up with the blue lines, which is the outer edge. And one of the good things about using something like this, from a technique perspective, we tend to have a strong side and we have a weak side. I can see that my head's being cut off. And a lot of times, unless you're, working with a trainer or, I've got a large mirror on my one side of the room here, we're not always looking at our body's alignment. Are we in alignment? Are we favoring one side over the other? And one thing I do notice when I'm coaching on the vibration plate, I see people leaning one way or I see them leaning the other. And what I like about a tool like this is you can feel by adding the resistance bands to your leg exercises, 2 things are going to happen. Not only are you going to add additional strength, you're challenging those muscles fast, you're gonna fatigue faster. And I'll just give you an example. We're going to grab the loops that are attached to these straps just with your hands, and I want you to just keep these up, and we're going to pull ourselves down until you get to you're almost at shoulder height. And a good squat is about keeping those heels planted, your knees are in line with, not passing the toes. Okay, you want those shoulders back. And just holding a static exercise, you're going to feel, am I wobbling one way? Am I doing this kind of thing? And it's very easy, to identify the weak side if you don't really already know what that is. But it forces you to, with your floor doesn't have a bunch of markings for, put left foot here, right foot there. I really like this. It's kind of like the twister of fitness. It shows you where to align your feet. Everything's in proper positioning. And if you have a big mirror in your bedroom, or you have an exercise space with a mirror, you can literally, you can't see what I'm seeing behind camera, but I can see if I'm shifting. I tend to have a favor on my right knee, which is the knee I blew out 20 odd years ago. And I have a tendency to lean and shift to the left. And you can really see in the straps, in your body alignment, when you're favoring one side over the other. So it's a really good tool to just make sure when you're doing your movements, they're good and fluid. And before you know it, just after practicing on this tool, you'll see that correlate to your exercises on your vibration plate or whatever you're doing your squats on. Okay, so that's one way that you can use that. If you want to fire up the legs a little bit more, there's, as I said, different configurations. I want to target the inner and the outer. So same accessories, same plate. We're not moving anything. All we're doing is we're making an adjustment with our feet. You can see how I've sort of angled them in just slightly here, okay? And what we're gonna do in this exercise, now that our feet are kind of at a 45-degree angle, I want your knees to follow the toes. So we're gonna keep the resistance on the upper body. We're gonna go kind of like a ballet dancer, right? And again, the knees are not passing the toes. You wanna focus and make sure the weight is in the heels. That's where you're feeling the mass of your body. You can see if you're wobbling to one side over another again. And you could do, if you're dealing with arthritis or joint pain, or you're used to moving and doing dynamic exercises, add fluid movement. Slow, very controlled, very purposeful movements. Keep those shoulders back. And again, if you're looking at a mirror, you can see whether you're keeping your body in a nice straight line, keeping that core engaged, shoulders back, 70 to 80% of the weight on the heels, okay? And one variation I want to show you, just because it's so cool and it's so fun, is one of the other attachments that comes with this. There's a wheel you can put in the middle of this to do ab exercises if you've got that kind of strength. But you notice on the end of this bar, this comes in two pieces. I've already screwed it together. There's these little hooks. So we're just simply going to loop these on here because I want to make it harder, okay? Another way that I used to use all kinds of rig up, broomsticks and all kinds of different things. This one's going to be a little bit harder. So I want this, see? You can see with a bar, right? I want to make sure that I'm standing. Now, it probably looks a little crooked because of the way my camera angle is, but I can see very, very clearly in the mirror in front of me in my room. Am I leaning this way? You can feel the difference in tension between the arms. So now all we're doing by putting this up over the shoulders is we're forcing that posture a little bit more, but we've stretched these cords more. So they're a little bit more strong pulling down on you. So we're going to do that same exercise. Feet are angled, out, up. And it's harder on the up this time. See, I'm favoring that right side. I can see it already. Up, up. Again, if you're dealing with joint issues, swelling, inflammation, you might find just holding the exercise in two different angles versus moving up and down. You may need to just modify based on what's working best for you. Okay? So it's just an example of two of the small accessories that come with this. Okay? And it really depends on you. Now that you've got this attached, you almost kind of feel like you do want to play with it a little bit more. You could do some front raises. The sky's kind of the limit. Now, if you're just joining me, this was two pieces. There was me warming up on the vibration machine, and there was me using the Infinity Box strictly as a technique tool. I'm not saying you can't do your squats on the machine. I'm not saying that you're not doing them now, but for many of you that struggle with technique or maybe you're not doing them because the knees hurt or the hips hurt, this might be a kinder starting point. And sometimes if you're finding exercises are challenging or painful, it's maybe not so much the exercise or the device, perhaps it's technique. One of the big things I see with a lot of my clients is they tend to shift the weight and lift the weight off the heel. That's one way that our body kind of guards and protects and makes it easier. So, just focusing on where you're feeling the weight before you add the stimulation of the machine, and make sure that the technique and the form is there. And I guarantee what you'll find on the machine, a lot of you think it's a 5-10 minute thing. If your technique is good and you're just starting out with squats, 15 to 30 seconds on a machine would probably be more than sufficient on your first time out. I would prefer, especially if you're dealing with joint issues, multiple sets. Same with this. If you're finding that the knees are sore, there's a better way might just be to hold those exercises statically, to a count of 10. You're going to last longer on this than you will on the vibration machine, but really the ultimate goal of combining these two is better technique, a little bit of variety. You could literally turn this into a bit of a circuit. And for a lot of my clients that lack range of motion and can't get down and do some of the upper body direct exercises that I showed you last week with the Infinity Box, you can absolutely develop upper body strength in a standing position with a tool like this. So another reason to perhaps combine the two. You can get some upper body wellness benefits, but unless you're starting to add straps or resistance to your vibration plate, it's hard to take that upper body further. So again, it's a good way to learn how to even just use the straps on your machine or as in complement to your vibration plate. And it stores away. It doesn't have to be plugged into the wall. There's a number of things that really appeal to me about this. So I'm going to stop rambling as I always do because I know it's Monday. I want to get back because I see there may be some questions. Again, I just want to recap for summer savings event with Lifepro, the Infinity Box or the Infinity Box Plus, $139 in the US, includes shipping, and depending on which set you order, you can choose to either have a large Lifepro massage roller included or a massage gun. So really kind of a big bang for your buck if you've been looking at any of those tools. Okay, I just want to get to some questions here. Who's with me? Like I say, we are giving away an Infinity Box set at the end of today's session. So if you would like to have your name entered in the draw, I got to know who you are. Please make a comment, and I'm going to get to some questions here quickly first, and then I will do a draw towards the end of the session here. So who's here with me today? Hello, Kim from Campbell River. Hello, Debbie. Hope you're doing well from Virginia. I have Kate. I was going to say, it looks like cafe. I've got coffee on my brain. Hello, Kate from Florida. Thank you for dropping the Infinity. Tiffany's assisting me behind the scenes today. Jane Webb is here from Kansas City. I see someone here from Louisiana. Please let us know who you are. Perhaps even just make another comment, but you're coming up as Facebook user. Mary Beth has got that one down. I see you're here from Wisconsin. Linda is here from East Hampton. Where do you get this board? It's on sale with Lifepro, and as I said, they're including either a massaging roller or a massage gun. There is a drop in the comments as to where you can shop further for this device. Up here, just scroll up a few comments and you'll see. I think there's a reply on that one. I have Chris from Chicago. It's always helpful to see the various products. And today was very simple. You know, sometimes when you get something like this Infinity Box, where literally it's got $300-400 worth of just resistance tools that come with it. But it can be overwhelming if you're not an exercise guru. I wasn't when I got into this 15-20 years ago. I've admitted that before. But the biggest thing I've learned on the vibration machines, how I can help my clients is really helping them with their technique and their positioning. And just, you know, if you're going to spend the time, especially if you're dealing with deficiencies, you know, doing it properly is just going to take you so much further in the long run. So this Infinity Box is a great little tool. You know, maybe you don't have time to go to the gym and spend time with a trainer and get some coaching. You know, I kind of learned after the fact and was very self-taught, and I was fortunate enough to work with a lot of very good trainers and therapists over the years. But a lot of them have helped me with my technique, you know, little things on my push-ups, little things on my squats. And I really like, you know, the simplicity in this board. You can certainly play and get more elaborate with some of the accessories but get the basics down, learn a good push-up, learn a good squat, and then, you know, using some of the other tools that come with it to make them more challenging and allow you to progress. It's not always about changing up and having a whole bunch of different exercises. Sometimes it's just changing the settings or the amount of settings on your machine, or if you're using the box set, you know, maybe playing with the resistance, adding more resistance. As I said, under the plate surface itself, there's these little red knobs that come in the kit where you can loop those straps and make them even tighter. I had them at the outer edge because I wanted to look really good and be able to do all the moves on camera today. But you can make it a lot more intense, do some bicep curls, some bent over rolls. It really depends on what your goals specifically are. You know, exercises are always going to, what those specific moves are going to be more in line with what your overall goals are and where you personally are starting from a physical standpoint. Facebook user says, interesting. Tammy says, I love my vibration plate. Karina says, aloha from Hawaii. How nice. Facebook users, thanks for the information on the video. Just getting started on mine from PA. Karina from Hawaii. Gary from Wisconsin. I have Facebook user replying to user on my machine. And I also have a hi from Texas. Please let us know. There's quite a few of you coming up as Facebook users. So if you're coming up as Facebook user and you see that in the comments, please just drop your name so I know who I'm shouting out here in a few minutes when I give things away. My arms look fabulous. I need to know what you do to obtain that tone. Tammy, I got to be honest with you. I'll be 50 in like less than a month. Reality's kicking in, and a lot of it isn't scary, mean stuff. It's just proper positioning, very simple, basic stuff on my machine. I love resistance. I love adding those type of things with the vibration machine, but sometimes this stuff seems simple, and until you start putting it into an environment where it's moving around and adding a different level of challenge. So I can't stress enough with something like this tool. It's something you can take with you, and if you are seriously conditioning for something, and life doesn't allow you to be around your home gym or your equipment all the time, you can incorporate elements of that into your day with something like this. It doesn't, like I say, have to be plugged into the wall. You don't need to necessarily take all the accessories with you, but it does come with a big carry bag. There's a number of all kinds of different. These were the other hand straps I talked about. So you could feasibly just throw this in you, and not only is it a gym bag, it's the gym in the bag. Get it? But the board, for me, one of the things I'm always harping at people is, hip width apart, and you're shifting, and so it is that technique tool. If you're not familiar with it, it's not a crime that you don't exercise all the time. Most people don't. So it would make sense that even later in life, or even like myself, I didn't know I wouldn't say I was doing them wrong, but I wasn't doing my push-ups and my exercises as effectively as I maybe could have. And, now that I'm older, Tammy, and I know how to do my exercises effectively, I really don't need to spend a whole lot of time doing them. I need to just do them. So these are consistency, of doing 90% of what I do is on the vibration machine. I love incorporating other things with it though. So my adjustable weights, my resistance bands, other vibration machines. There's all kinds of different things that I incorporate with it, depending on how I'm feeling. And if I want to get bigger and bulk up, maybe I'm doing a show or something, weight is a very easy way to do that. Replying to Facebook, if you can't see my name, it's Mary. Hi, Mary. Thank you for letting us know. I want your t-shirt. Oh, thank you. It's a brand. I got it at a trade show many, many, many years ago, but I just love it. And I always wear black tank tops. So today I'm like, I'm not going to wear a black tank top. Nita Henry from Louisiana. Thank you, Debbie, for all the information. And thank you for the comment on the arms. You're 55. Thank you. You know what? My whole life, I think, I wish, I don't want to sound like my mom, but I wish I knew what I knew now and could go, if I knew what I do now, and, I can imagine where my body would be. But a lot of it, for me, the hard piece is the food. I love food. I'm a homeschool mom. I still have little kids at home. And, I find, the less I beat myself up about it, the less I actually indulge. And, if I just have what I want once in a while. For the exercise, for you guys, the biggest advice I can give you, it is food and it is activity. Those are the two biggest things that can really make an impact. Food can be your friend. It can be your medicine. It can be your fuel for these types of things, but it can also be very detrimental to a healthy lifestyle, depending on what you're putting in there. So make sure that you're consistent with your activity. Make sure you're consistent with giving your body in what it needs on a regular basis. And I think a lot of this just comes naturally. I think the more we worry about it and beat ourselves up, Tammy, the more we tend to give in. And I'm the worst person. There's always laundry to do, and it's going to be like really gorgeous here when it's supposed to be almost winter here. So, I've been playing in the yard a little bit more than I normally should. And, I can notice in my back and my shoulders that I'm not, sometimes it's just exercise that I'm doing on the machine, but the therapeutic effects of exercising, whether it's the infinity box or machine, we know, especially as we get older, that's the experience piece, that will pay the price. So the more you move, the better you feel, if that kind of makes sense. I had weight loss surgery a year ago, down 100 pounds. Now I need tone. Good. The skin tone itself takes a little longer in my experience than the muscle tone. So the muscle tone, the squats, keep doing those good things that helped you achieve the weight loss. Good for you. But the skin, the saggy, the softness, that's what some of these tools, some of the red light tools, massaging, some of the exercises I did today, just, giving that skin direct attention, that tends to sometimes take a little bit longer to retract than the movement on the scale, if you will. So don't be frustrated. I'm sure you've got bat wings and things like that. Keep the muscles underneath active and building, but be patient with the skin tone. Keep yourself hydrated. And there's lots of different tools you can use to spot treat areas that may be saggier than others. I know exactly what you're talking about, Tammy. Okay, well, instead of rambling, I'm going to get a drum roll. And if you're here and you haven't entered your name yet, now is your chance to do so. We're going to give away one of these infinity box sets, and I want some feedback. If you're watching this after the fact and you own one, or you've been thinking about getting one, or you're messaging me about, how do I do this? This is the technique tool. As I said, it comes with a whole bunch of accessories. The value there, let alone the add-on of the massage tool, is a huge added bonus with Lifepro. So it's kind of a no-brainer, folks, if you can. $139 for either package, the Infinity Box with the massage roller, or the Infinity Box Plus with the massage gun, depending on what you may need in your arsenal. So, Jane, thank you for commenting. I own one but had not used it yet. Well, I hope this has motivated you just a little bit. Sometimes the reason I like doing these sessions isn't so much necessarily because I don't think you know how to do it, but sometimes we forget, even me. Today I was getting ready for the legs, and I do a lot of arms with the Infinity Plus, but I'm like, what am I going to do for legs? And then I had about 5 or 6 or 7 different really fancy moves, and I thought, keep it basic. Do a squat. Show them how to, if I can motivate you to do one thing with the tool that you have now, hopefully it'll be 2 or 3 or 4 progressively. But I can also be really good at overwhelming you with too much information, and that can be a demotivator too. So keep it short, keep it simple. Whatever you do, keep it consistent. That's really the secret to success. Okay, drum roll, please. Today, I see Richard. How do I use it? There's been a couple of videos that go into a lot more detail than I did today. And if you want to see the leg set that I did, this will be a live posted video the moment that I stop blabbing and wrap this up. You can watch the rerun if you're just joining us here, Richard. So Tiffany is telling me my winner is, oh, what a cool name, Marianella Neal. And I believe that you are in our VIP group possibly. So I hope I said your name right and didn't botch it there. Marianella, I hope that's right. You are now the proud owner of the Infinity Box set. And if you haven't used one before or haven't considered it, I hope that I've given you some ideas today. And again, I did a session more related to upper body and combining the Infinity Box with your vibration plate, just on one very simple area of your body. It's not always about a whole workout. Again, the big message I want to give you guys today is just get started. Pick one body part and stick with it, and it'll motivate you to get to the rest. Thank you so much for joining me, Marianella. We're going to need some information from you. So if you could message us, we're going to need to know where to ship this, some contact info, and I look forward to you receiving that. And if you do have questions related to today's session, whether you're watching me live or after the fact on a recording, please tag me. And I would be happy to answer those questions. Sometimes I talk so much that you don't think about something or you don't think about it till after the fact. So if you do have questions or something that comes to mind, feel free to just tag me in the messaging on this video, and I'll get a reply out to you on a timely basis. Thank you again so much. Congratulations to Marianella. I'm glad that you're still here. It's almost like the Oscars, but for fitness. So thank you for joining me, guys. I will see you next week. My topic is, I may not have one yet, but I will see you at the same time on Monday at 3:30. Pardon me. 2:30 Pacific time, 5:30 Eastern Standard Time, and I believe we have a giveaway and a new product reveal later this week. So stay tuned. If you don't follow Lifepro sessions regularly, please do so you know about all the lives, and whether you can make it or not, click attending or maybe or something like that so that at least you get the notifications on Facebook. It's real easy to forget, and I try to do my best in my private groups to remind I'm going to be on live in 5 minutes kicking your butt. But sometimes Mondays are busy, and if there's something you really want to attend, whether you go to it or not, make sure that you comment as a yes or a maybe, interact somehow, and then that way at least you'll get the feedback and the comments and any notifications on the event, even if you do have to miss it. So thanks very much, guys. We will see you again very soon. Don't work too hard, and have a great start.